What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Beatles from their 1963 debut proper album, Please Please Me. Thank you again to Vera for this album and so much more. Indeed, essentially the entire Beatles collection, including recording sessions and live performances and so on. But yes, we're still in the very first chapter of this, but I am trying to speed things up a little bit by doing 2-for-1s, and we're going to do another one of those now. Which is to say, we're going to listen to the 5th and 6th tunes on side 1 of the record, Boys and Ask Me Why. So Boys, I don't know, if it was like a female group, I would think, it might relate to like dating or, sort of what boys are like and, maybe different kind of boys and so on. But with a title like this coming from a male singing band, and indeed, I should actually point out this is another one that is not written by McCartney-Lennon. Now, Ask Me Why, the second tune we're going to hear here, is in fact a McCartney-Lennon tune, but this one is, what does that say? Dixon and Farrell? Is it Dixon and Farrell? So yeah, I don't know, I guess it could be kind of what I would think of with a title like Boys, again, if it was like a female singing group. Nevertheless, the second track, Ask Me Why, I have a little more thought about that, meaning it's the kind of phrase you say when you have a piece of information or a perspective that you want to share. It's like, this is the case. Like, oh really? Yeah, ask me why. Like, you want to tell someone what's behind something, either a situation or something you just said or some aspect of what you are talking about, and you are keen to divulge it, but I suppose it's a bit formal in that you don't want to just come out and say it. You want them to be curious and to ask you why. So, yes, I am curious. I don't recognize either title by name, so I suppose it's possible that when I hear this, because again, some of the early Beatles I remember my parents listening to when I was younger, but neither title rings a bell, so let's give it a listen. This is first Boys, and then Ask Me Why by the Beatles from their 1963 album, Please Please Me. So I'm going to try to talk about the tracks separately. So yeah, number one, I love the lead vocal, and I think Sophia was telling me that Boys here is sung by Ringo, is that right? Now, again, I don't know even, Paul or John's voice well enough at this point to clearly distinguish. And first of all, let me just say that the vocals and the overall sonics, they really do have that kind of old school 60s feel to them. And yeah, I definitely enjoy the vibe. Indeed, was there a moment where he said "Go George" or "Take it George," something like that? So it feels like there's maybe a bit of banter within the group in the recording, which I do always enjoy. And some punk bands I listen to, they have things like that. So yeah, is this Ringo on the vocals? And if so, I gotta say I'm impressed. I enjoy the kind of raspier moments, and there was an extension or two where I thought he really hit it well, and it gave it some fire. So yeah, definitely enjoy that. And again, it definitely has kind of that 60s rock feel. I will say, lyrically, I'm still a little unsure. I mean, he's talking about, when he kisses his girl, it's like he's going around the world and talking about, the way his girl feels when he kisses her and so on. So it does seem to be about, young men and young women and, dating and the sort of spark or infatuation, the joys that can come with, physical interactions and so on. But yeah, if there's more to it, I did not pick up on that. And indeed, I assume it's not just the feeling of kissing. And I think he kept saying I'm talking about boys, which again is a line I would expect more in a song sung by a female, no matter who's writing it. So yeah, I do wonder what else is at play here. But a fun tune, and one that, as I said, if that is Ringo, I'm impressed because even just with a sense of the Beatles and their reputation and so on, my perception is that most of the songs were sung by either Paul or John. And while that still may be true, already I have a sense that, maybe there's a bit more vocal and other diversity in their catalog than I thought. So, in any case, let us now listen to Ask Me Why.
Happened to me. I can't conceive of any more misery. Ask me why. I say I love you, and I'm always thinking of you. I love you, 'cause you tell me things I want to know, and it's true. Happened to me. I can't conceive of any more misery. Ask me why. I say I love you, and I'm always thinking of you.
So yeah, definitely sort of a light, sweet song, and one that you can imagine being played at a dance back in the '60s, meaning a high school dance or a sorority fraternity kind of dance, like a dance where couples are pairing up. And yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, he's saying ask me why I tell you I love you and I'm always thinking about you. Like he wants to express the reasons, and part of that seems to be because he sees no possibility for misery. Like he's very happy. He thinks, they are in a really good way. She's always on his mind. And so when he says I love you, he's also apparently saying ask me why, because he's keen to tell all the ways or express all the reasons. And it seems, again, very peachy. Now maybe there's an aspect of this that I'm missing, but yeah, he seems just, in a very loving and sentimental mood, and he's keen to express that in a multi-level way to the partner. And yeah, like it's again, a sort of light, sweet song. It's, the vocals aren't quite as fiery. I think they're in a good place, but, definitely they're fitting to the kind of mellow, sweet atmosphere of the tune sonically. And again, it's not one that I recognize. I will say in Boys, what was it, the like shoo-wop or something? There were like these backing, kind of vocalization style vocals, not quite doo-wop, but, in a similar vein as that. Those for a moment, I was like, oh, have I maybe heard this one? But the more the song went along, I was like, I don't think so. It's like maybe just because I've heard other songs with those kind of like syllabic backing vocals, I thought maybe I knew it. But this one, definitely not. Like, I've definitely not heard this one before. So, again, it does interest me that some of this early Beatles stuff is not the early Beatles stuff that I heard. Though, again, the first track on the next side, Love Me Do, that is definitely one that I know. So, be interested to hear that and to, experience it in, a modern setting and, the way I do these reactions and to hear people's comments. But that one I'm looking forward to. Before we get there, though, the last track on side one, and in fact, I guess in the same video, because I'm going to try to keep doing 2-for-1s here. So the next time we'll listen to the last track on side one, which is the title track, Please Please Me, which I can't think of any melody or any chorus or anything, so I don't think I know it, though I guess if it is a title track from one of their albums, it's possible, but again, it doesn't ring a bell for me. But Love Me Do, which we'll also listen to in the next reaction, or the next, 2-for-1 reaction, that one I definitely know, and as I said, I'm keen to rehear it. So let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.